See if this is any better. Yeah, yeah, that's definitely a lot better. Okay, so gonna be reading from Psychology Express. We're gonna be doing a brick summary on attitudes. Ugh, we can get this thing to stay steady. I don't know. Um, we'll see. Now we could do the self as a multi-dimensional system. How to how is the knowledge about self organized? Important points to know about self schemes. How self is maintained, the impact of culture on self, the importance of compassion, and compassion is made with the safe self dependency theory, making compassions with others, making compassions with groups. There's always that. That's the second chapter, but I think we'll go with the chapter I was starting on, arbitrational theory. Go with attitudes, I think. We'll go with attitudes. See what it says about attitudes. Attitudes, yeah? Right, because this is what I had today, attitude. A bit of a disgusting attitude I had. Attitude. I won't try and get the book in if I don't want to get copyrighted. You right, Izzy? Attitude structure, attitude strengths, attitude measurements. So I've got to look at the camera when I'm reading this. So, attitude measurements. What are attitudes? So you've got attitude structures, attitude strengths, and attitude measurements. Attitude formation, biological explanations, the role of learning. Oh, we got mad frames there. 8 frames, 7 frames. Ah, oh, come on, we just have to go through it, man. Properties of attitude, theory of planning behavior, compulsive or norms, individual differences, nature of behavior, attitude and behavior links. That's how it's broken down. So yeah, and this is from Psychology Express that we're reading from today. So introduction: the study of attitudes is an essential part of any social psychology course. An understanding of a concept is vital to enable you to appropriately evaluate some of your key topics that follows in this chapter. For example, much of the research in stereotyping and prejudice grounds in the concept of measuring attitudes. This chapter cannot possibly cover the vast amount of research in the field of attitude research, so we'll focus on the topics covered in the main social psychology text. It's important that we first determine what it means, the term attitude, and that we establish how we form attitudes. The way we measure attitudes can be boldly divided into exploits of impact, techniques, choices, and methods, not the simple pragmatic decision, but reflection of the research and perspective concerning definition of attitudes. One of the key debates in this topic is acknowledging disparity in relationships between attitudes and behavior. We will discuss some of the explanations for the disparity and the theories we attempt to improve our ability to predict behavior. See, this is what I knew in conversations I had with people, that today was not going to be a good day for me. So that was what you call predictive behavior. So I had predictive behavior. Essential points to revise are the role of cognition affected the behavior. Ezzy, give me a second, please. I'm just reading. Give me a second. One sec. Let me help him. Come on, Baba. Daddy's just doing a stream quickly, yeah? And then after I will help you, okay? Alright? Oops. Oh, just squashed the bloody snail. Let's get back. Let's try finish this attitude chapter. Oh, I've been going for 5 minutes already. Right. Assessment advice. The topic is heavily theory based. There are numbers of unresolved debates that should enable you to answer questions with a strong evaluative edge. One of the dangers when there are many opposing, seemingly contrasting views that the answer can be a circular argument. Well, that sounds like James Jones, man. Circular argument. You should be careful to put the case together and form a strong argument. Best answers often come down to one side whilst still acknowledging opposing view with strongly theoretical topics such as often used to include examples illustrate points that are making whilst reading more appeal chapters such as chapter 6 prejudice and defamation and chapter 9 interpersonal actions. You could apply the material from this chapter drawing on these applications to enhance an answer to a theoretical question or answering an essay. Oh, fucking hell. I think that's just that was just the introduction, isn't it? So, okay, here we go. What are attitudes? Attitudes, Mario and Haddock, 2009, page 4. Define the attitudes, overall evaluation of objective-based cognitive, adjective, and behavior information. This defines based on a consensus among attitude researchers. The attitudes of a multi-component elusive judgment, objectives, eagerly and Kraken. 1993, attitudes object can be concentrate, e.g. as part of shoes, or an abstract, e.g. communism, can comprise people, e.g. your mum, German people, including ourselves. Wow, that makes no sense to me. Self-esteem, table 1. Give me 1 sec, Baba. Your mum dash German people includes ourselves. Self-esteem. Table 1 shows attitudes are made up of 3 components: cognitive, affective, and behavioral, and how articles can vary in discussion. Valence from positive to a negative. Points to consider: attitudes are not always represented by these 3 components. For example, favorable attitude towards a particular brand of computer may be based on solely cognitive beliefs about performance and battery life, whereas our attitude towards spiders may be based on an effective response. Spiders make me anxious. One component may be more important than the others. Predicting attitudes in the study of prejudiced cognitive beliefs. We are more likely to predict attitudes towards disliking groups, whereas feelings or emotions. We are more likely to predict attitudes towards liked groups. E.C.'s Haddock and Zinner, 1993. Oh man, 10 minutes already? Okay, I don't know who's come in, but big up. I don't know how bad it is. Oh, see what I'm saying? Didn't even say big up. Yeah, this is a bit of a nightmare still. I have to say, this is so hard. Let me see what's going on. Let me see if the streams mash up. I don't even know if it's good or bad. See what I mean? Yeah, okay. Cool. Oh my god, it's wow. So it only lasted 5 minutes. Oh, fuck's sake. I don't fucking get this shit. I really honestly